Okay, so 58% of the American population would be included for this new $2,000 stimulus check, or $2,000 dividend payment, as the president likes to call it, at least according to this article right here, which I'm going to pop up on the screen in just a second so you can see it for yourself. And this article is making a really good point because it's highlighting some remarks from high-profile people in the administration, most notably Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and his income threshold that he talked about, and what Americans are actually experiencing as far as their personal and household incomes. It's all in here. Now, we've been hearing about this $2,000 payment for months now. The dividend, the stimulus, the distribution, the rebate, whatever you want to call it. The name literally does not matter, but a lot of us are wondering, is this actually coming in 2026? When is it really going to hit? And what are the real parameters? Who's actually going to be included? And remember, I've been saying this for months now. It's always based on nothing other than your income. That's it. Your income. It does not matter if you're working. Does not matter if you're filing a tax return. Does not matter if you're living on a fixed income benefit. It does not matter about anything else other than what is your income in relation to the threshold that they put in place. All right, let me pop this article up so you can see the details. Here it is. Now you might be thinking, wait, it says 42%. You said 58%. What's going on here? Here's the deal. I said 58% are included according to this article. This article actually talks about 42% of the population not being included. So rather than saying not being included, I said 58% of you would be included because I think people want to know that they're going to be included, right? Now, remember back in early November 2025, it was actually November 10th or 11th, a day or two after the president posted about this $2,000 dividend paid to everybody, excluding high-income people. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was out doing an interview. In fact, I have a video right here on the channel from back in early November, mid-November actually. You can scroll back and find it. He mentioned that income thresholds would probably be under $100,000. Well, as mentioned here in this article, they're talking about household income or individual incomes of $100,000. And according to Census Bureau information from 2025, about 42% of the population earned over $100,000, which is honestly really interesting. I did not know it was that high, according to the household data. Now, here's what's interesting about this. There's a huge difference between households and tax return data. At the beginning of this video, I said it doesn't matter if you're filing a tax return. And by the way, this is not tax advice. This is not accounting advice. I'm not your CPA. I'm not your accountant. Talk to your own professional. Gotta throw that quick disclaimer out there. But my point is this. Census data is based on households, but the distribution of these $2,000 payments is not based on a household. It's based on tax return data, whether somebody files or not. Let me give you a quick example. Before I started filming this video, I was thinking of a family that I know. This is a household that I personally know. It's probably 6 or 7 people that live in this house. It's a lot of people. They're all working except for one who's a minor. So collectively, these 6 adults, they're probably earning well over $100,000. You know, you don't have to earn that much. When there's 6 adults, like $20,000 a person, you're well over $100,000. You know what I'm saying? My point is, if it was just based on this household, they wouldn't qualify because they earn over $100,000. However, they don't all file the same tax return. In this household, it's a mother and a father who are in their mid-60s. It's a daughter who's like 35. And I think 3 sons. One's like 33, another's like 31 or 32, and another's like 28 or 29. They're all adults, even though they're all living together. On a household basis, they earn over 100 grand. I'm just anticipating that, considering they're all working, but they don't file all the same tax return. The mother and father file a joint return together. The daughter files her own tax return, and the 3 sons all file their own individual tax returns. Individually, I would doubt that any of them earn over 100 grand. I don't think they do. So on that basis, they all earn significantly under the threshold, making them eligible. But if you looked at them as a collective household, they would certainly earn over the threshold. Does that make sense? The point I want to bring up about that is this. They don't determine it on your household. They determine it on tax return income. Income that would be reported on a tax return. Now you might be thinking, dude, you're contradicting yourself. At the beginning of the video, you said you don't need to file a tax return. You're right. You don't need to file a tax return in general to be eligible for these types of stimulus payments, dividend payments, distribution payments. Here's the deal. Whether you file a tax return or not, the IRS and the Treasury already know everything about you. They know how much money you earn down to the penny. They already know it. Whether you file or not, they've already got a pulse on your income. They know. So according to this article, they're talking about incomes being under 100 grand per household, which is good to know. But we're still waiting for official guidance on this out of the administration, just to be 100% fair with you. We're still waiting for that official guidance. It's going to be based on individual or married couple as far as how someone would file a tax return if they filed a tax return on the federal level, not the state level, federal level. If somebody filed a tax return, now think of your own personal situation. You could be working full-time. You could be working part-time. You could be working none. You could be living on fixed income benefits, which I know a lot of you in this community are living on fixed income benefits administered by Social Security. Whatever the situation, it does not matter. Think of your own personal situation right now. If you're an individual, think of it on an individual basis. If you're a married couple and both of you are receiving a fixed income benefit from Social Security, or maybe you're working part-time, or one is working, one's collecting benefits, whatever the situation, it does not matter. If you're an individual, just answer this one question. This is all you need to ask. Whatever your income is, earned income or income paid to you through benefits, on an individual level, is your income below, say, 75 grand a year? Yes or no? It's the only thing you need to be asking. On a married couple level, if you're a married couple and you would file a joint return, if you were to file a tax return in the first place, I'm not saying that you need to. I don't know your situation, not tax advice. Even though we're getting into tax season right here, you got to do what's best for you. I don't know your situation, definitely not advice. But if you happen to be a married couple and if you were to file a tax return, would you file a joint return? If so, as a married couple, is your income below 150 grand a year? Yes or no? Again, you don't have to tell me. Just think to yourself. Don't leave a comment and say, yeah, my income's X. I don't want to know your income. That's not my business. Please don't tell me your income. That's not my business. It's nobody else's business how much money you're receiving or earning. But that's all you really need to know about this. Those are the income thresholds I anticipate them to come out with. Reason being, this is the common threshold they've used over the years when they distribute these types of dividend stimulus payments, economic impact payments, anything like this over the last several years. They've generally used the threshold of 75 grand a year as an individual, 150 grand a year as a married couple. And remember, it's not necessarily based on household income. It's based on what you would report on a tax return if you were to file as an individual or a married couple. That's what it's about. I've been saying this for a couple months now since the president came out, and he originally floated this idea of this $2,000 distribution dividend payment, the rebate payment. I've been saying just focus on the income. It's not about filing a tax return. It's not about working. It's not about all these other hoops that everybody else makes it sound like you need to jump through. No, that's not what it is. It's income based. And again, based on Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and what he said, incomes under 100 grand, incomes under 100 grand. He just randomly threw that number out there. By the way, that was not an official number. We still do not have an official proposal on this right here as we speak right now. Who knows? Maybe it comes out later today. Maybe it comes out tomorrow. Maybe it comes out in 3 months. We don't know. But back at the end of 2025, I had a video about this as well. Feel free to scroll back and find it. The video's still here on the channel. It was from maybe like 3 weeks ago, give or take. Actually, I remember the date now, December 22nd. I posted a video. Scroll back and find it if you want. Kevin Hassett, the White House economic advisor, he was out in an interview the previous day. So I posted that video on a Monday and he was out in an interview on Sunday. I posted the clip of him speaking, and it's very interesting because he was saying in that video clip and in that interview, he anticipates the official proposal to come out early in 2026. Hello, guess where we are? Early 2026. Come on, let's see it, right? So I would anticipate whether it's actually happening or not. We don't know. But I wouldn't be shocked if we see an official proposal on this at some point sooner than later to get us excited, get us talking, get us the details of this. And within the official proposal, it'll tell us exactly the income thresholds, the real income thresholds. Not just some willy-nilly Scott Bessent saying, it's $100,000. It's good. It's nice to have that little bit of a benchmark. We can use that as a placeholder, but that is not going to be the official threshold on the income. I would imagine that's not going to be it. I think it's going to be significantly lower than that. I think it's going to be about 75 grand for an individual and 150 for a married couple. If it were honestly up to me, I would say it should even be lower than that. That's what I would say. I would say maybe like 60 grand or 50 grand as an individual, and maybe like 100, maybe 120 as a married couple. Maybe. But it doesn't matter. That's just what I'm saying about it. Let's just see what happens here. But I wanted you to see this article so you could see the details and some of the statistics based on the Census Bureau and the explanation on the household versus the tax return differences there. Big, big, big difference. So here's what you need to do. Think about your own situation. If you're an individual earning under 75 grand or a married couple earning under 150 grand, you're most likely going to be included when this comes out. If it comes out, don't worry about whether you filed a tax return. Don't worry about whether you're working or on fixed income. The IRS already knows your income. They've got all your information. Social Security reports everything to them. Your employer reports everything to them. They know. When this payment gets approved, If it gets approved, they'll send it out automatically to eligible people, just like they did with the previous stimulus payments. They'll use the information they already have on file. Now we're still waiting for that official proposal. We're waiting for the real numbers. We're waiting for the timeline. But based on everything I've seen, based on Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's comments, based on Kevin Hassett saying early 2026, I think we're going to hear something soon. And when we do, I'll break it down for you right here on this channel. I'll tell you exactly who qualifies, exactly what the income limits are, exactly when it's coming, because that's what we do here. We cut through all the confusion and we give you the straight facts. So keep an eye out, stay tuned, and don't let anybody confuse you with all this household income stuff. It's about what you would report on a tax return as an individual or a married couple. That's it. Simple as that. All right, that's what I wanted to cover today. Hopefully this clears things up for you. Hopefully you understand now the difference between household income and tax return income. Hopefully you know where you stand as far as whether you'd be included or not. And look, if this does come through, if this $2,000 payment actually happens, that's real money. That's groceries, that's medicine, that's bills paid. For those of us on fixed income, that's significant. So we're watching this closely, and I'll keep you updated every step of the way. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next one.